Hi, we'll start with our song. Hi everybody, welcome to Busy Beeswax Creations. Today we are going to be using 2 colours, not 1, and that's exciting because we've never done that before. So can you please get out of your pack your navy blue one and your pink one. We're going to use colours the best we can with the colours that we've got because we don't have many. So these 2 are for today, and then the remaining one will either for some people be a reddy brown and others a bright red. So keep that one aside for next beeswax, and today these 2 colours. Now I know it's getting a lot cooler, so it's harder to keep your beeswax nice and warm. It's easier if you're in a warm room. And also, if your hands are not warm enough, rub them together like this. It can really warm them up. It's a very good way to get those fingertips with the warmth in there. And sometimes, like I said last time, you can pop it in a warm place like under your arm. That's always a warm place. And I have also tried and trialed putting beeswax into a bowl of warm water. That can actually work too. For today, I am going to be putting 1 in the palm of my hand. Make sure you don't have the plastic on your pink one. 1 in the palm of my hand, and the other one I am going to pop just under my arm there so that it can be kept warm there while I keep this one warm in the palm of my hands. And we will start with our verse. From the bees, this gift of gold is in our hands to warm and hold. Fragrant beeswax in our hands is full of goodness from the land. Keep it nice and warm throughout the whole story, and then we will begin to form our creation. Today our story is another one from the author that you heard last week called Elsa Beskow. She writes really beautiful stories. This particular story is called Emily and Daisy, and you can probably see by the cover there what this book may be about. Emily and Daisy by Elsa Beskow. Once there was a little girl called Emily who lived with her mummy and daddy in a red cottage in the country. Emily helped Mummy with lots of things. She shooed the flies away when Mummy was milking Daisy the cow. She could also dress herself, wash her face, brush her hair, set the table, and sweep the floor. It's a lot of things, isn't it? What a helpful little girl. One day Mummy was baking and Emily was playing with her elephant, her doll and her little wagon. Mummy was worried. "There is a hole in the fence, Emily, and I'm afraid that Daisy the cow will run through it," said Mummy. "Are we going to mend the hole?" asked Emily. "Yes, Daddy will mend it tonight, but if Daisy gets into the clover field, she might eat too much clover and become ill." "Don't worry, Mummy," said Emily. "I'll go to the meadow and look after Daisy." She got her little bucket to take with her, but couldn't find her spade. Emily set off down the path to the meadow. After a while, she met a big dog. "Woof, woof! Are you scared of me?" asked the dog. "Not at all," replied Emily. "You look like a friendly dog. I'm going to the meadow to look after Daisy the cow." "Come with me instead," said the dog, "and we can watch some rabbits." "No, thank you," said Emily. "Well, goodbye then," said the dog. "Let me know if you need my help with Daisy." Emily thanked him and continued along the path. Next, she met Billy the boaster. "Where are you going?" asked Billy. "To the meadow to look after Daisy the cow," replied Emily. "Come with me instead," said Billy, "and we can do some fishing. I'll catch a fish twice as big as Daisy." "No, thank you," said Emily, and continued along the path. Soon Emily reached the gate to the meadow, but the bolt was too high and she couldn't open it. An old man with a sack on his back came along. "What are you doing?" asked the man. "Leave that gate alone." "I need to get to the meadow to look after Daisy the cow," replied Emily. "I see," said the man. "Sorry I scared you. Let me open the gate." And he did. He also gave her a nice new wooden spoon out of his sack. "You can use it with your bucket," he said. Emily said, "Thank you." In the meadow, Emily said hello to Daisy the cow and noticed the hole in the fence. It was near to a sand pit Daddy used to get sand for the paths. Emily sat down and started to make sandcastles with her bucket and her new wooden spoon. Daisy wandered up, sniffed at the sandcastle, and knocked it over. "Naughty Daisy!" cried Emily and hit Daisy on the nose with her spoon. Daisy jumped back, turned and ran through the hole in the fence into the clover field. Emily ran after her. "Come back," she shouted, but Daisy didn't listen and ran further into the field. The clover was very tasty and she wanted to eat more and more. Emily caught Daisy's tail and pulled it, but Daisy was stronger and pulled Emily along. Emily ran behind crying, "Help!" she shouted. All of a sudden, the friendly dog appeared. "Woof, woof, woof!" he barked, running towards Daisy and guiding her back through the hole in the fence into the meadow. "Oh, thank you," cried Emily. "You're welcome. It was nothing," said the dog, and he ran home. I can hear some of you saying, "That was the front cover." We always find that in books, don't we? The front cover is usually a picture inside. Emily wanted to mend the fence straight away so that Daisy wouldn't run off again. She noticed some fence poles sticking out of a heap of twigs and started to pull them out. "What are you doing?" shouted a little voice. Emily saw a little old elf pulling on the other end of the pole. "If you pull out these poles, my roof will fall down," he said. "I need to mend the fence," said Emily. "I see," said the elf. "Sorry if I scared you. Let me find some more poles and I'll mend the fence for you. Come on, children." Then Emily saw a small doorway in the pile of twigs with 5 elf children staring out at her. The elves brought some long poles and the little old elf started to mend the fence. The elf children stared at Emily's sandcastles and laughed as they climbed on the heaps of sand. Emily laughed too and made more sandcastles around them. An elf woman tugged on Emily's dress. "Can I borrow your bucket?" she asked. "To get a little milk from Daisy the cow? We want to make pancakes." "Pancakes, pancakes!" cried the elf children, jumping up and down. "All right," said Emily, "but just a little bit of milk." The elf woman thanked her and took the bucket. In a flash she was back with the milk, then disappeared into the twig house. "The fence is completely mended," said the old elf. "I hope you'll leave my roof alone now. Would you like to share our pancakes with us?" "Pancakes! Come and eat pancakes!" cried the elf children. "They smell delicious," said Emily, "but the door is too small. I won't fit through it all." "Come and try," said the elf children, pulling and pushing Emily towards the house. Just then, Emily heard her mother's voice calling. "Emily, where are you?" "I'm here, Mummy." As soon as Emily said the words, the elf children disappeared into the twig house and the door closed. At Emily's feet was her bucket full of wild strawberries. Mummy came through the gate to milk Daisy the cow. "Look, Mummy," said Emily, "here's a new wooden spoon for my bucket. The fence is mended and I have a bucket full of wild strawberries." Mummy was very pleased. They milked Daisy while Emily told her the whole story. On the way home, they met Billy the boaster. He had only caught one little fish. "Did you pick those strawberries?" he asked. "No, I got them from the wood elves," replied Emily. "If they picked strawberries for me, I'd want a big bucket full, not a little bucket like that," said Billy. "Well, you didn't catch a fish the size of Daisy, did you?" laughed Emily. Billy didn't know what to say. That evening, everyone had wild strawberries for supper with cream and sugar. Daddy said they were the best strawberries he'd ever tasted. After supper, Emily got a bone and some sugar lumps and took them to the friendly dog who had helped with Daisy the cow. The dog was happy to see her, and together they watched the rabbits playing as Emily gave them carrots she had brought for them. Then Billy came along. "I suppose your rabbits are as big as elephants," laughed Emily. "No," said Billy. He had stopped boasting because it was a silly thing to do. They had fun feeding the rabbits together. Every so often they heard a long moo from the meadow. It was Daisy the cow, asking where all the tasty clover had gone. And that's the end of the book, Daisy and Emily and Daisy. Now, what are we going to make today? Are you having a guess? Do some people think a cow? We're not. Do some people think we're going to do Emily? We're not. We are going to do a blue bucket with beautiful, wild, fresh, pink strawberries. So first start with your blue. Pop your pink under your arm to keep it warm while you mould the blue, starting with a beautiful ball as we always do, forming that ball as best as you can. And then from the ball, we are going to push down and in like this and pull up the sides. Push down and pull up, turn it around, push down and pull up. So you're starting to form. Push down and pull up. Push your finger in and pull up the side. Pushing down and pulling up so that you start to form a kind of bowl. I'm going to use 2 hands now. So I want to bring my bucket up. I'm pushing down and pulling up the sides. Make sure you don't fan out the sides too much. So my bucket's starting to look like this. But what does a bucket have? Buckets have flat bottoms because they sit on the ground. So you could even use a table to push down on your bucket to get a nice flat bottom on it. And then buckets also have handles, don't they? So we need to draw a handle out using our strong fingers out one side of the bucket and out the other. So I've got one side there and one side there, and I pull up and I can push it. See how it's quite wide? And then you can push it together and make it skinny. Keep pulling up until you can join both handles. So take your time to do that. I'm going to do it as quickly as I can for you to see. So I've got my 2 ends and then I bring them together to form a handle. And there I have a bucket, or mine's a little bit more like a basket, but that's okay as long as we can pick it up by the handle. My lighting's not very good for this. So there we go. And then once you've made your bucket, you're going to get your little pink, and what are you going to do with the pink? You're going to break up little balls of strawberries to put into your bucket. I'm going to pull a piece out and do a ball. Now a strawberry, if you want to get very technical, is kind of pointy at one end and fatter at the top, almost like a little triangle. That I'm going to pop one strawberry in my bucket, and then I keep going. Can I put my bucket in your sight? A bit hard. No. Then I'm going to pop all the little balls into my bucket. Lots and lots of little balls. I'm going to go really quickly because you're going to take longer than I am. So, making my balls as quickly as possible. Little ball, pop it in. Little ball, pop it in. And there. And another one. Little ball. Remember to give it a strawberry shape if you can. Kind of like a cone almost. A little bit pointy and at the bottom and a little bit wide at the top. Pop it in and you keep going until you have a basket absolutely full of strawberries. And they are the wild strawberries that Emily got from the elves. So I would love to see how your little bucket and strawberries comes out. I'm very excited to see. I don't have the best background for you to see this, but yeah, just work on it as best as you can, and please ask your mum or dad or any adult around you to take a photo of your bucket with your beautiful strawberries. Take your time, and I would love to see what you produce. I'm very excited. I'm going to end with the song. Have a beautiful day, class 1. See you soon. Bye.